Hi guys, and welcome to the challenge tutorial. And I hope you started and you tried your best to complete the challenge. You didn't jump just to this lecture. It's very important that you open After Effects and cement your skills. Try a bit to complete the challenge. The first thing to do, of course, is to import the footage. You come to your project panel, you right click, you say import, file. You navigate where you have unzipped your footage. You can select them all just like this and make sure it is footage and say import. Let's start by creating our new composition. We click on the create new comp and we call it a simple challenge. For example, from the preset we choose HDTV 720 by 25 and we make it 5 seconds is okay. Leave the background to black, of course. Now we take our cats, that's the background, and we drop it inside our timeline and we open up in our composition viewer. We also can lock it so we don't choose it by mistake and start moving it. Now you can choose which cat you want to work with. Let's work with the black and brown cat. You click on the layer, you drag it and drop it inside your composition over here. That's cool. Let's take now the black cat. We click on the layer, same, we drag it and drop it inside our composition. I will try to adjust them wherever I want. Cool. That's okay over here, for example. Now, you want to work with the position. Fine. You can start twirling down and selecting transform and then work with the position. But there is another way. If you select your two layers over here, you just click on the first one, you press Ctrl or Command on the Mac and select the second one. And then instead of twirling, you just press P. The position property will open. Now you can work only with position and you have space to look at other things. Let's come to 1 second. And this is where we want our cats to be at 1 second. If you select both layers and click on the stopwatch, both layers will initiate the animation and keyframes are created for you. Let's go back to 0 second. Now we deselect by clicking outside and then we select the first cat. We want to drag it outside the comp. It's very easy. You click on it and when the mouse pointer becomes a black arrow, you just drag. You can press shift and it will drag just horizontally without moving up and down. Fine, so we created the first keyframe. Actually it's the second that we create, but it is the first keyframe in the animation and we've scrubbed through. It's working pretty fine. Cool. Let's go back to the beginning. Now we do for the black cat. We click on it, press shift and take it outside. Let's look at our animation. If you scrub through, it's pretty nice. They're all coming in. Cool. Now we want to animate the scale. To bring up scale over here, you can select your two layers and press S and now you can see the scale. So you click on the stopwatch and because you selected both layers, the animation will be initiated for both layers and a keyframe is created for each layer. Let's go to 2 seconds here and move the scale, for example, to 150%. Now notice what's going to happen. Because I clicked to edit one value, but both layers are selected, if I change one, all of them will change to 150. You notice what happened here. This is because there is a double selection. It's making life much easier. Then we want them at 3 seconds now. If you remember, we want to make them back to 100%. Same. I have both layers selected. And then when it comes over here, we want them to come out. So we need to keyframe the position. Now, I don't want to remove the scale from here. I want also to see the scale and the position. For this, having the two layers selected, you can press Shift P. So you don't press only P, you press Shift P and the position property is also displayed with the scale. Now we want to keyframe them on this position so they don't move at all from here. Here you are, the only scaling. And then at 4 seconds here, we want to take them out. We have to go layer by layer. You can deselect by pressing F2. So you deselected everything. Click on one layer and keep it pressed. Press Shift and take it out. Cool. I will do the same for the second layer. Select the layer, click on it, press Shift and take it completely outside. So actually you have completed the animation. Here you are. If you play it, it goes big, small and comes out. Okay, now you can start adding the opacity animation and make them first of all transparent, then they will become opaque at 100% and we do the reverse when they are exiting from the animation. I will stop the animation at 0, I can select both layers if you like. To bring up opacity, you press T. But if you want to still see position and scale, you press Shift T. And here you are now, opacity is brought in with the position and scale. We want to start the animation on opacity. I have here selected both layers. You can see that. I will shift it up a bit. I have selected both layers here. So if I click on one stopwatch, both of them will initiate the animation at 100%. I will just drag the value to 0%. Notice how, because the opacity is selected in both layers, it's changing the value of opacity in both layers. I will come to halfway over here and then take the opacity back to 100%. If you scrub back, you notice that fading out, and then here they're fading in, they're coming in. Cool. Let's go to the time when they're supposed to start fading out, just in the middle of 3 and 4 seconds. You want to keyframe the opacity here at 100%. All you have to do is to press on the star, add and remove keyframes at current time. Here you are, the value is 100%. And then you can go to the next keyframe by using the keyframe navigator for position, for example, and then put it back to 0%. Let's press spacebar and play our animation. It's very easy, it's very simple, it's very practical. I know that from time to time you are going to have keyframes in the wrong places, and maybe you would like to move them and stories will happen. I understand this. But what you want to do is to try your best to make it work. If it doesn't work, just delete everything and go back and do it again. Cool. Now there is something I added here and I would like to show you that. You know that this cat will be much nicer with a shadow. To add a shadow, click on your layer, right click on the layer, and you have here layer styles. You can go down to drop shadow and it already have a shadow. Let's do the second one. We select the layer, we right click on the layer, then we say layer styles, drop shadow. It's not gonna be very visible because it's black, but yet it gives you another dimension. There is nothing wrong in using the styles now. It's just for you to learn how to use them and how to add more to your animation and make it beautiful. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this section was very useful for you. I hope you will complete the challenges and do more. Upload it to YouTube. Give us the link. Let us see what you have done and we'll be very proud of you. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next lecture.